Are you dreading your upcoming move to Hampton Roads, worried you'll end up miles from the base or in a neighborhood that doesn't feel like home? Trust me, you're not alone. Military relocations can be super stressful, but if you stick around, I'll share the exact neighborhoods near Naval Station Norfolk and NAS Oceana that can save you from a relocation nightmare. Let's jump in. What's going on? I'm Jason Edwards with eXp Realty, and I help people just like you every single week. Home buyers, sellers, veterans, and active duty military find the perfect place to call home here in Hampton Roads. If at any point you think, yes, I definitely need more information, then check out the contact information in the description below. Call, text, or email me so we can chat about your specific situation. Let's kick things off by talking about the pressure of military relocation. You might get PCS orders with almost no warning, leaving you scrambling to pick a neighborhood, sometimes sight unseen. The stakes are huge. Your kid's school experience, your daily commute, even your overall quality of life depends on the home you choose. Let me just say, I get how overwhelming that can feel. I was in the Navy for more than 20 years. Nobody wants to uproot and then regret the move. Here's a quick data point. Approximately 40% of military families move each year, which means the real estate market around these bases is always active. Think of this relocation like a giant puzzle. Once you find that right piece, everything clicks into place, and we're gonna solve that puzzle right now. Let me know in the comments, are you more concerned about commute time or school districts? That'll help me tailor future videos to what you need most. Just a quick overview in case you're not aware. Hampton Roads is a cluster of 7 major cities: Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, Hampton, Newport News, and Suffolk. Each has its own personality, its own housing market, and unique feel. Here's a fun fact. Norfolk is home to the world's largest naval base, while Virginia Beach has the East Coast's master jet base, NAS Oceana. Throw in Joint Expeditionary Base Little Creek, Fort Story, plus Langley Air Force Base just across the water, and that's not even all of them. And you can see how Hampton Roads is practically the heartbeat of U.S. naval operations on the East Coast. Picture this, a community that genuinely understands what it means to serve. You'll meet neighbors and local businesses who appreciate the sacrifices you and your family make. That can be huge comfort when settling in. Living near the ocean, beaches, and historical sites means weekends can feel like mini vacations. This entire region is built around maritime culture. So if you love the water, fresh seafood, and vibrant festivals, you're in for a treat. Now let's talk about one of the biggest factors, commute times. In Hampton Roads, you'll hear people talk a lot about bridge tunnels. The Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, the Downtown Tunnel, the Midtown Tunnel, the High Rise Bridge, the Monitor Merrimack Bridge Tunnel, and a few others. Traffic can back up really quickly, especially during morning and evening rush hours. Expect your commute to Naval Station Norfolk or NAS Oceana to be 10 to 30 minutes if you're relatively close, but that can double if there's heavy tunnel traffic or an accident. Often, during the morning commute, the gates can back up pretty bad too. Remember, a brutal commute can drain your energy and affect your entire family's mood. Sometimes it's worth paying a bit more for a home closer to base to maintain that work-life balance. Less time in traffic means more time on the beach or out trying the latest food truck festival in town center. I'm curious, what's the longest commute you'd ever tolerate for your dream neighborhood? Let me know in the comments. When I was still active duty, my commute was around 40 to 45 minutes without traffic. For me, it was worth it to get more house for my money, but that's about the limit that I'd want for a daily commute. First, let's zero in on areas around Naval Station Norfolk. Ghent is a favorite if you love historic architecture. Century-old homes, tree-lined streets, and a lively art scene. Prices can be higher though. You might see 3-bedroom homes in the $300,000 to $500,000 range, depending on condition of course. If you're more into spacious yards and brick colonials, Larchmont and Edgewater could be your sweet spot. They're close to ODU, Old Dominion University, which adds a kind of a youthful feel. And if you want that coastal living without giving up convenience, East Beach and Ocean View offer waterfront homes and condos. Just watch out for flood insurance requirements. You can easily check the FEMA flood maps to find out which flood zone a home is in, And you can reach out to me and I can get you an estimate on flood insurance. These neighborhoods often have very tight-knit communities. You'll find neighbors hosting block parties and local breweries that remember your name. Remember, do your homework on property taxes and possible renovation costs. Some of these homes are older and might need more upkeep. Living in East Beach or Ocean View means you could be paddleboarding or jet skiing 10 minutes after you get home. Living the easy life. All right, let's shift gears to NAS Oceana. The Red Mill area is super popular for its newer constructions, shopping centers, and highly rated schools. A lot of homes here are in the mid $300,000 to $500,000 range. The Ocean Lakes community also offers a balanced mix: townhomes, single-family options, and a real sense of neighborhood camaraderie. If you want to be really close to the oceanfront, Dam Neck might be more your style. Surfing or fishing can become part of your daily routine. But keep in mind, during peak tourist season, local traffic definitely spikes, so weigh that if you're not a big fan of crowds. You'll see consistent demand in these areas because of the base's stable workforce. There's nothing quite like hearing the sound of freedom from the jets overhead and knowing you're part of a community that supports its military neighbors. Living near the boardwalk means free concerts, festivals, and oceanfront fireworks. All right, talking about living near the bases, let's dive into VA loans. This is a biggie for active duty and veteran viewers. With a VA loan, you can often buy a home with zero down payment, which means you can keep more of your hard-earned savings for closing costs or a rainy day fund. The VA funding fee is something to keep in mind too, but veterans rated at least 10% disabled by the VA are exempt from it. Imagine the relief of buying a home without draining your bank account. That sense of security can be huge when you're busy juggling other commitments. Meanwhile, you might like to know that VA loans usually have pretty competitive interest rates. I recommend comparing quotes from different lenders to find the best deal. Here's a fun spin. Once you're in your new home, you can channel that saved money into customizing it. Maybe building a media room for family movie nights or a sweet backyard grill or smoker setup. One tip, work with an agent who knows the ins and outs of a VA loan because not all of them do. By the way, if any of this sparks any specific questions about your move or the home buying process, I'd love to help. I chat with folks just like you every single week, so feel free to call or text me. All my contact information is below. There's even a link to my free homebuyer's guide if you want a comprehensive step-by-step approach. Let's make your transition as smooth as possible. Now, deciding between on-base and off-base living is honestly a personal choice. On-base usually means shorter commutes and immediate access to the gym, commissary, and other base perks. However, you lose some privacy and don't build equity. Also, because of the amount of bases here, sometimes you might end up in a base housing that isn't right next to the base you're actually stationed at. I was in base housing years ago, and I ended up in the housing near Little Creek, but I was working at Naval Station Norfolk, so I still had like a 20 to 25 minute commute every day. I did have all the base amenities nearby on Little Creek, but it's just something to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is that your BAH often matches on-base housing costs, so you won't have out-of-pocket expenses, but also no investment in real estate. If you're interested in more of the pros and cons of living on or off base, I did an entire video that dives really deep into all of that. Check it out right here. Well, actually, I think it's right here. Off-base living can offer a sense of pride, having a home that's all yours, especially if you plan to stay in Hampton Roads after your service. Living off-base can mean better access to nightlife, beaches, or local entertainment too. Plus, you might snag a property that you can convert into a rental down the line, giving you a passive income stream if you relocate again. You've heard about the bases, now let's talk lifestyle. Hampton Roads is famous for its beaches, Virginia Beach oceanfront, the Chesapeake Bay beaches, and hidden gems like Sandbridge. Virginia Beach consistently ranks as one of America's safest cities of its size, per FBI data. There's also a seemingly never-ending list of festivals. The Neptune Festival in the fall, Harbor Fest in Norfolk, and countless local craft beer events, food events, the Chesapeake Jubilee, Taste of Suffolk. If you're a foodie, get ready. There's top-notch seafood like blue crabs, oysters, fresh fish, and a pretty good international cuisine scene. You'll never run out of places to try. Living here can be like one big staycation. There's a ton of things to do in Hampton Roads itself, and also quite quite a few pretty amazing places just a couple few hours drive away. If you want more information on those, I also did a video on day trips from Hampton Roads. You can check that out here. Now for those looking to sell a property near these bases, here's what you should know. Peak PCS season typically ramps up in the spring and early summer, which is when many military families are looking to buy. List your home at the right time and the right price, and you could see multiple offers, especially if you emphasize features like proximity to base or top-ranked schools. On average, homes in desirable neighborhoods around the bases are selling in about 30 days or less during peak season. Emotionally, it helps to stage your home in a way that people can envision themselves living there. Cozy living rooms, kid-friendly spaces, or an inviting backyard. Pro tip, virtual tours are huge for military buyers who might be out of state or overseas, so make sure to invest in professional video and or 3D walkthroughs, or, a realtor that provides that service. Alright, wrapping up the main topics, let's go over some quick logistical tips. Start your home search early, like 3 to 4 months before your anticipated move. Consider virtual tours if you can't be here in person. They're a game changer. I've done this for quite a few of my clients, and I'm pretty good at conveying exactly what I'm seeing, hearing, feeling, and smelling in a house, good or bad. Document all your important items before the movers show up. Trust me on this one. If you're feeling the weight of this move on your shoulders, remember, I'm here to help. I've got folks reaching out to me weekly, sometimes daily, about relocating to Hampton Roads, buying their first home, or even selling to move overseas. Don't hesitate to call or text me. Just check the description for my number and email and the free home buyer's guide. Let's tackle your unique situation together. And remember, I upload new videos every single week, so if you found this helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty more content in the pipeline, everything from local hotspots to deep dives on the home buying process. Give me a call or text anytime and let's chat about your move. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.